So we've worked out which are old tags and which are new tags. Now then, what we need to do is, instead of concatenating them into a string, what we need to do is put them into arrays, such that afterwards we can then add these records into the table. So what we've got currently, we've got new tags as strings. Let's just get rid of that. Let's say dim new tags as, oh dear, I need to stop the thing running. Dim new tags as array list. Okay, we're going to use an array list. Okay, dim new tags as array list equals new array list. Okay, an array list is essentially a kind of wrapper object for holding arrays in, and it just makes it easier to add elements to the arrays. Okay, so that this is what we'll be using for creating our arrays of old tags as and new tags. Array list equals new array list. Okay, so that's what we do. And instead of here, what we're doing, which is of concatenating them, what we'll say is old tags dot add tag array. Okay, tag array. This essentially will then just add this tag into our array of old tags, and if the user has entered one or more than one new tag, we could also type in new tags dot add open bracket tag array open bracket I close bracket. Okay, so now what we've done there is we've just, instead of putting them into a string, because we're only using that for testing purposes, we're now putting them into an array, and with that array what we're going to be then doing is then in the case of new tags, adding the tags into the tag list and then connecting that to the article. In the case of old tags, finding where they are in the list of tags and then concatenating that and then associating that number with the article. Okay, so but before we do that, then we'll get rid of this line here, which we don't need. We're now going to have to kind of do a number of different insert tags, and also we're going to have to find out the ID of any array we've added to the database. Okay, so first of all, let's create our command, which is going to be adding tags to the tag table. Okay, now if you remember the way we did it for adding articles, what we do is we use the add with parameter method. We create a database command object with a kind of prototype SQL string in it with question marks for those parts of the string which we need to manually put in ourselves. So here we go. Let's type in something like dim add tag cmd as OLE DB command equals new OLE DB command. Now remember, in the previous example we put in a variable representing. Now I'm just going to type the SQL command as it should be. Okay, let me just hide this a minute to give me more space. Okay, new OLE DB command. I'm going to put in a little underscore here, which in Visual Basic means I can go on to the next line. It still remains part of the same line. Okay, so here is the command. We're going to say insert into tags. Okay, tag, which is the value we want to insert into the tag. The tag is the name of the field whose value we are setting in this new record we're creating in that table. Space values open bracket question mark. Okay, and then the second parameter of this OLEDB command object is the OLEDB connection object. Okay, so OLEDB con. Okay, which is something which has already been established. We've established it up here. Okay, OLEDB con, so we don't have to declare it again. Okay, so there it is. There's our adding a tag command. So what we will do is we'll use that command as the instrument through which we can add tags into the database. Okay, but also, having successfully added tags into the database, there is also that other extremely complicated operation whereby we associate the ID of a tag with the ID of an article or a paper. Okay, let's just kind of look again at the database just to remind ourselves. Okay, so here just to bring up access again. Remember, there's our database. This is the junk tag papers table, and in one field it's got a number representing a record in the tags table, and in the other field it's got a number representing a record in the papers table. So remembering that, now we're going to have to write the kind of command that we would use for that. So let's create a dim add tag paper junk record. Okay, so this is, if you like, relating to this junk tag papers table in the database. So we're going to add tag paper junk record as OLEDB command equals new OLEDB command. Again, let's put an underscore, and then we can then type onto the next line. Okay, so now here we've got a slightly more complicated line, because we've got to fill in two fields, but again with numbers. So insert into junk tag papers. Okay, and then inside that we open a bracket. Check papers tags underscore FK underscore ID comma papers underscore FK underscore ID. Okay, and then we say values, an open bracket, and here it is. Sorry, you don't need a quote. Question mark comma question mark, close bracket, end quote, and then the final parameter, as before, we need this OLEDB con. Okay, so these command objects, we're establishing, if you like, the structure of the command, to which we subsequently, using the add with parameters method, or the parameters.add method, we actually specify the values of these question marks. Okay. Aside from that, though, another thing that we're having to find is, as soon as we add any tag into the table of tags, we're going to find out what was the new record that was created. So we're going to say another one, dim get latest record cm command as OLEDB command equals new OLEDB command, and again let's put an underscore. Okay, now this one's a little bit easier. Open bracket quote. Remember, if you remember from the last time, we use select double at identity is the way as the way we get hold of the last record added to the database. So we say select double at identity, and then ampersand comma OLEDB command. Okay, so that's the third one. Although it's giving me a blue line there, so it's not appreciated that, and the reason is OLEDB con. I've given it the data type rather than the data object. Okay, and so finally, the only other command that we're going to need is one which will having for the old tags, we're going to have to kind of search through the list of tags to find out what its identity is. So we're just going to now type in the command which will do that. Dim find tags command as OLEDB command equals new OLEDB command. Okay, underscore, and then on the next line we're going to type in the actual quote which will do it. Select ID from tags where tag equals, and then question mark. This is, in this case, we're using this add with parameter method, but instead of using it for an insert purpose, here we're using it for a select, for finding. Okay, Okay, so we've got all that sorted out. Okay, so let's in each of those cases, I mean, where we need to be inputting a parameter, we need to specify the command type. So we can say let's just make it a little bit clear. So underneath add tag command, add tag cmd dot command type equals command type dot text. Okay, we just have to do that. It's just with this method we do that. Let's put a little separate line here just to create some, it makes it easier for us to subsequently read. Okay, so and the same thing here, add tag paper, because we're putting in question marks, add tag paper dot command type equals command type dot text. Okay, finally we need to do probably the same with the other two. Get latest record command dot command type equals command type dot text, and finally we need to do it with the last one. Find tag command dot command type equals command type dot text. Okay, so now we've set it. We've kind of now completely set up. Okay, all our fields, etc. Okay, and now then, let's. What we will do is we will go through all of the new tags. Okay, and each time we will add the new tag into the database. Okay, and then we will find out what is the new ID for this record that we've just added, and then we'll link it with the article. Okay, so let's go for I equals 0 to new tag, new article tags dot count -1. Okay. Oh, new article tags. I got that wrong. Let me just check. It's called new tags. Go from 0 to new tags dot count -1. Remember that they start at 0 and they end at the 1 just before the count or the length. Okay. Now then, we're potentially adding more than one. We were doing, this add tag command, which we're going to be using for putting these new tags into the tag table. We're going to potentially, that could be more than once. Somebody could type in more than one new tags. Okay, so since we could be this could be the first time or the second time or the third time that we're going to be adding another command. What we have to do is we have to clear this kind of command object before we do anything. Okay, so we type in something like this: add tag cmd dot parameters dot clear. Okay, so we do that first of all. We actually clear the object, and then we do our add with value. So add tag cmd dot dot parameters dot add with value, open bracket. Okay, and the value, of course, is new tags, open bracket, I. Okay, so if you like, that's the in this array of new tags. Okay, that's in the first one, that's new tags 0. In the second one, new tags 1. Okay, so we do add with value. Okay, and then we do that execute non-query. So add tag cmd dot execute non-query. Okay, and that doesn't take anything. Okay, but having done that, Okay. There's a slight problem here with this add tag command parameters, add with value. Okay. Oh yes, sorry. Add with value. The first parameter is the name of the field in the database that you want to actually put in there. So I did that slightly wrong there. So add with value tag, new tags I, execute non-query, and then we've got to find out what is the ID of this new record that's been added to the database. So we say dim NID as integer, okay, and then we have to do, can you remember the actual line? To get the number, we don't just do execute non-query, do use execute scalar. Okay, so and remember what we've done here, where it says select at identity. So that's the command we're going to be using for getting this newest record added. So let's type in dim NID as integer equals get latest cmd dot execute scalar. Okay, and that will give us the get latest record command. Sorry, that will give us the ID of the record that's been added to the tags table. Okay, having got that, now we need to associate that value with the article's ID. Okay, so associating that with the article's ID, which if we go right back up the top again, there is article ID. Okay, article ID field value. So this is a hidden field, remember, which has been kind of going across the pages, carrying with it the ID of the record in the papers table, which to which we want to associate. So now here we go. We can say add tag paper junk record. Okay, dot. Okay, parameter again. We'll have to do a parameters clear here. Parameters dot clear. Okay, and then we're going to do our add with value version of it. So add tag paper junk record parameters dot add with value, and then inside there, so we've got these two fields, the article ID, okay, and the tag ID. So let's add with value. First of all, we type in the field name, so it's tags underscore fk underscore ID. Okay, and we associate that with this this latest value that we've just got, because we've put it into the database, and so we've just got back that value. Okay, and then the other field that we're going to be adding is the article value. Okay, so now let's do exactly the same thing. Just copy and paste that line, add with value, but this time quote, instead of tags, it's going to be papers underscore fk underscore ID quote, and then here we've got that variable we declared at the very top, which is article ID. So let's take that, okay, go down the bottom again, putting into the article ID. Okay, and then so now, having got those two set together, we generally have got to that point where we're associating the primary key of the field of the tag with the primary key of the paper. Okay, and now we can we can execute non-query. So add tag paper junk record execute non-query. Okay, and there we are. So that's done that. So that's done that for all of the new tags, the tags that didn't exist in the database before. Now we've updated the tags table, and we've associated the tag with the paper. Okay, we're going to do more or less of the same, but with the old tags. Okay, so it's going to be just, I'm going to copy and paste this because a lot of this will be the same, but although there will be a few differences, from I equals 0 to old tags.count. Okay, so with old tags.count, what we're not doing, we're not adding any tags into the data into the tags table. Okay, what we have to do is find the field in the tags table. So we've got to say, for example, new tag. We've got the tag, for example, multimodality. We have to go through the tags table to actually find it. Okay, so remember, there's our find tag command. So what we will be using is, instead of adding anything, we'll be using our add with value. So we're doing our find tag command dot. Okay, so now if we look at our find tag command, we've just got to specify what is the tag here that we want to find. So we say find tag command parameters add with value. Okay, and inside that we put in again the field that we're trying to check up against. So it's tag. Okay, and the value is going to be old tags. Sorry, in that for loop I forgot to put that whole tags. Tag is going to be old tags dot well, just going to be old tags open bracket I. Okay, so that will give us, so add with that's the command which we'll use to find the tag in the table. Okay, and then we're going to create our DB read, because we have to read the table again. So we're going to go through all this rather boring stuff of sort of like dim so we've already used DB read before, I think. Yeah, so it's probably, we don't want to do that again. So we'll say dim tag reader. Okay, so dim tag reader equals find tag command dot execute reader. Okay, and then we say tag reader dot read. Okay, and then we don't have to loop through this time, because we know it's only going to return one value. So we only need to read up to the very, so we get to the first item. We have to run that command tagreader.read, because it says go to the next item. Since we're at the start, it goes to the first. Okay, the first record returned from the database. Okay, tagreader.read, and then we can say dim NID as integer, but this time, instead of it kind of finding the last record added, it's finding the record we were looking for. So it's kind of it's tag reader open bracket quote ID. Okay, and that will return the ID of the first record inside tag reader. Okay. Okay, so now then, much of the rest remains the same. Okay, because we've got the ID of the tag from the tags table. Now we're going to do again. We're going to, because we're doing it again, we need to clear it. Okay, we're going to be then populating these two fields. Okay, and then we're going to execute non-query. Potentially, it might be an idea to in find tag command, we need to actually clear the parameters also from that one before we start going, because we're doing that many times. So let's put that command at the very top of the loop, looking through the old tags. So now we've got the old tags and the new tags being added into the database, or the old, well, in the case of the new tags, we're adding the tag into the tag table, then we're finding the ID of that tag, then we're associating that ID with the ID of the paper that's just been uploaded. In the case of the old tags, we're finding the tags that have been added previously, and then associating those IDs that we find with the paper that's just been added. Okay, So, having done that, probably at the end of this, we will probably want to redirect back to the mobile standards.aspx page. So I can do response.redirect, open bracket, quote, mobile standards.aspx. Okay, so that should take us back to the start. And probably at this point we've done a lot of reading and stuff. Let's kind of close the connection. OLEDB con.close. Okay, so that's all our stuff added. So let's just summarize what we've done. Okay, we've first of all we've gone through the database just to find out all the existing tags that are in the database to work out which tags are new, which tags are old. Okay, and by comparing the old tags, the tags that we've just taken from the user, which is in the text box, we compare them, we find out which ones he's or she has genuinely added and which ones they've just chosen from the list of links. Okay, that's the first thing we did. Then we prepare these various database inserting and searching commands, and then finally we go through all the new tags, we add the new tags into the tags table, and then we associate the returned ID with the paper that we've just inserted. And in the case of the old tags, we find the ID and we associate that ID with the papers we've just inserted. Okay, so that's what we've done. So let's now see if all this works. Okay, the moment of truth. Okay, so let's click on new article.aspx. Okay, so now I think I'm at H, so I'm going to kind of type in an article called HHHHHH. Okay, so let's bring up the browser. Hopefully, hold on. Okay, so here it is. So HHH, 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 HHH. Okay, and here now I click Add Article Entry to Database. Okay, now I'm going to say Ubiquity, Study, and test tag. Okay, so test tag. So those are the three tags. Two are kind of taken. One is things. Now click on the button, and what should happen is that the thing should work, but it doesn't. Anyway, I shall stop there because the phone. And what we've got is an error which saying that there's an invalid exception. There is already an open data reader associated with the command which must be closed first. That is absolutely right. We've created tag reader equals find tag command execute reader, but in order for that command to work, what we must do is we must actually close the reader after we've used it. So what we will do after execute non-query, what we would do is type in tag reader dot close. Okay, so that now let us hope will work. So let's go on to new article dot aspx dot vb. Okay, press play. So again we're on H, so now I'm going to type in I. Okay, so here we do. So here's author I. Okay, so add article entry to database. Okay, so I'm going to type in, notice test tag has been added, so we did manage to get to the point where we added the test tag, but not the rest of it. So I'm going to type in Ubiquity, Study, and because it's called I'm just going to type in I, as in the human eye, and then I'm going to click on the button, and let's see if this works this time. Okay, it looks like it might be working. Okay then, so let's now check our database. Does this mean this has worked? Okay, so now I'll have to close this junk tag papers down and reopen. Well, first of all, let's look in tags table. Yep, okay, that's good. Ubiquity multimodality study test tag and I. That's fine. Now remember, junk tag papers. Has this worked? I. That's worked. Ubiquity I, study I. So the I was the new tag we'd added to the table. That's been added. Ubiquity, which was an old tag, study, which was an old tag, those have been added. So it looks like, fingers crossed, it's working. Okay. there are a few kind of little things that we probably need to check about. We've got if somebody puts in more than one space in the line, that will probably almost certainly cause an error. If there are kind of empty spaces or things like that, that could also cause an error. So that is our first attempt. That has kind of more or less, however, worked. We just need a bit of things sorting out in terms of bug checking. The final thing to actually make this whole thing work and to make it worth all this extreme effort we've had to put in to actually get this far is to give us on the list of papers the ability to filter by tag. Okay, and that should be the purpose of the final video in this unit.